Hello and welcome to our program Violence Free World. My name is Kali Ikpe and we continue today on the road to a violence-free Nigeria. And we are privileged to have as guest on the show today the Executive Governor of Katsina State in Northwest Nigeria, His Excellency Aminu Masari. Excellency, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to come back with the conversation shortly over here. Welcome back. Excellency, now, as far as curbing insecurity in Nigeria is concerned, Nigerian governors generally, Nigeria Governors Forum, Union of Governors all over, seem to be in unison as far as the issue of state police is concerned. You've spoken about it a lot of times, but yet some persons, pundits if you like, insist that a lot of states, most states in Nigeria simply do not have the capacity to be able to cater to state police, pay them and all of that. What do you feel? What is truth?
You see, the existing strength of the Nigerian police or the Nigerian army is so inadequate. Because I know if you take all the Nigerian armed forces, all of them, the open space you spoke about between part of Katsina and Zamfara will consume all of them. They will not cover everywhere. You can see how vast Nigeria is.
Yes.
Right? Now, I know in Katsina we don't have up to 3,000 policemen.
In the whole of Katsina?
Yes, we don't. Katsina has a population of 78 million people. Just to buy 3,000 with even 7 million, you will come to over 210 to one policeman.
Grossly inadequate, definitely.
Exactly.
As we know.
Then, we have 34 local governments. Probably with the exception of Katsina and Funtua, they all have one division.
One division as in a division of the Nigerian
What I'm
army.
saying, if you go to a local government, they have one divisional office where the DPO sits.
Okay.
In a local government that are hundreds of millions of people and it has 100,000 villages. They don't have a functional vehicle. How do they cover it? So, something fundamentally has to be done. The issue of not able to pay police is not true. It's not true. The federal government has delved into issues that are purely local. So that's how our money is being frittered away. Tell me, Federal Ministry of Agriculture without land. What is the business of federal government running a secondary school? What is the business? And some places running primary schools for the children of the elite civil servants. While majority of the people are left unattended. You are in the First Republic. And we had no Ministry of Agriculture, federal. What we had is the Research Institute in Ibadan and the VOM in Jos. Fundamentally, Ministry of Agriculture, to my understanding, I may be wrong, was created for fertilizer distribution under the military. So, look, you see, that if we want to run this country as a federation, we need to loosen the federal government, devolve some of these functions to states and local government, where the people live. You say you are doing it for the people. And where are the people? The people live in states and local government. You see, the problem is, I don't have to pay my policeman as much as Lagos State will pay, or as much as Kano State will pay. or even Kaduna, if our revenue base is different. So our revenue base should look at this over-unification on many issues created our problem today. Why should a councillor, I not talk about a councillor, me as a governor of Katsina State, why should I earn as much as the governor of Lagos? When one local government is richer than Katsina State. But that will not diminish my authority as a governor. So all this unification, unnecessary unification, in terms of salary, wages, standards, and all this, I think should go away if we devolve and say, okay, let us look inside.
Excellency, all of the northern governors, especially the northwest governors, came together to agree on, and you made a pronouncement that Almajiri had ended. We know the correlation between the Almajiri scourge and nuisance everywhere, up to the extent of some of them being available as ready armies to be recruited into insurgency, terrorism, banditry generally. It doesn't seem like Almajiri's scourge is out of the way. It looks like it's even getting worse. How would you speak to this, sir?
Well, you see, I think this week I will receive a report with regards to number of Quranic schools and the number of Islamia schools that we started since mid-COVID in order to see how we can mitigate some of the, and I'm sure with the involvement of BESDA now, Quranic education, I think we'll see more positive improvement. You see, coming back to population explosion, coming back to the issue of cultural beliefs, coming back to the issue of having a common border. Virtually Niger is more dependent on Nigeria. And especially here in Katsina, and some towns near Katsina, majority of the Almajiri you see are from Niger Republic. You repatriate them back, and the following day they are back. But the critical issue is, some of the young children that you see roaming or begging, especially here in major towns, are not Almajiri. They have their father and mothers living in the town, in the city.
So we're doing the blanket categorization of people as Almajiris.
They have. In fact, Almajiri means student. That is the English meaning of Almajiri, student. One who goes out looking for knowledge. The simple meaning of Almajiri is student. They are supposed to be students of Quranic school, because all Islamia peoples don't beg and then to go begging. Because Islamia system is organized, is controlled from word to word under the umbrella of that religious organization. Where you have problem of children going out to beg are those who are under the tutelage of those Quranic schools. We have deported some of them back to their villages, and they have come back.
What about the ones sent from Niger? Have you sent them back to Niger too?
I think we did more than 3 times.
And they keep coming back.
It's a porous border.
Porous border. You know so. You've known so for a very long time.
And they are the same culture, the same religion, the same language. So it's a unified community divided by artificial border.
Wow.
We are only divided by artificial border. Nigeria has over 9,000 kilometers of open border. Most of it in Niger Republic.
Artificial border.
Yes.
Are you inferring that this is almost impracticable to do? To separate these borders?
Look, the borders are artificial because the same communities, if you go to many towns and villages across the northern part, even in the southern part, especially where Lagos, Ogun, and others are bordering Benin Republic, it's a one town divided by a single thread. On the other side is another country, on this side is another country. The land borders are like that. We don't have a land border that is demarcated by other rivers or high mountains or ocean. And the Muslim border communities speak same language, same culture. So coming back to the issue of Al-Majri, I think the intervention which BESDA and the government is doing, and the census that we are doing now, because we are doing two censuses, one for Quranic schools and Islamia to know the population. Secondly, because of the banditry, under my deputy, we have now a committee which we want to know how many orphans, how many widows as a result of this banditry. So what we want to do is to create scholarship for them under the local government system, so that at least up to foundation education, that is, you can start from primary 1 to JS3 or SS3. That person, if you go through real schooling system, it gives him the foundation to learn skills. Because that's what we need more now. We need skilled manpower to manage our daily needs.
Let me ask this one. Have you, the same governors, been able to get together to discuss the intransigence of this situation?
Well, we have been discussing it, but most of the...
So what is the resolve?
The resolve is to advise the federal, because it's beyond us. When we started, we look at even the ECOWAS Treaty about transhuman movement. The state government are not going to enforce the requirements.
Do you see any hope?
The immigration, the federal authorities, when you go to them, they also handicap in terms of manpower, technology.
This is a helpless situation, Excellency.
It is not.
If it's not helpless, what are you going to do now? You have to live with it.
Will determine leadership. The situation is not as bad as it was 20 years ago. So we are making progress, but not in the same where the speed, because up to now we have not applied technology, because technology takes care of the numbers. So if we can employ technology properly, I'm sure we will, but you have to understand, all over the world, not Nigeria.
Yes.
In every country in the world, they have one challenge or the other. And you know, in everywhere in the world where they have land borders, they have this kind of issue of control. It's not peculiar to Nigeria. Look, the whole of Africa is an island, but all the countries within Africa are subdivided.
I think we should be focused on the progress made. Expecting a situation to be resolved in a fiat, it's not to be realistic. There's so much more to come back and talk when we return from this break. This has been Violence Free World. We'll be right back after this time out. Welcome back. This is Violence Free World, and I'm here with His Excellency, the Governor of Katsina State, Alhaji Aminu Bello Masari. Okay, going forward now, Excellency, what is your take on this measure of anti-open grazing law that has been implemented by, or that is being implemented by some states in Nigeria, as far as heating up the polity is concerned, national integration is concerned, national unity is concerned?
You see, my friend, you know, there is politics and there is reality. I hope I'm very clear on this. You see, yes, and open grazing, for us it is un-Islamic. It's un-Islamic. To send your cows, goats, animals, just roam, enter this farm, enter this house, no, it's un-Islamic. If you want to do herding, rearing of animals, so you should also prepare what they will eat, where they will sleep. However, this cannot be done in a fiat. And you spoke about ungoverned space. So it means there are areas which these herders can move without anybody knowing, because the place is ungoverned.
Yes.
Right? So I think it will be more responsible, like what way the federal government is supporting us to do, to lay a solid foundation where you can have ranch, established, well-managed, well-kept ranch, which the Fulanis, it will attract them to be there. So people are talking about Ruga. It's neither an English Hausa word nor a Fulani, a fulfilled word. It's in English. Rural grazing areas was created by colonial masters. It's not, we are not creating something new. Even those of us who are, some people are talking about Ruga, they are anything new. Yes, you have anti-grazing law. Okay, you have the law, you have signed it, it's a law. Who goes to implement it in the forest? But yes, you have impressed your people.
I
support it. I support it. That when everything is on ground, nobody should be allowed to move from Katsina to Benue or from Benue to Adama. It doesn't make sense.
I heard Governor Otom celebrating the success of it when some herders who were going to move from that place to probably Kepler also had sought permission from him to do all that. And he said, which means that some civility is coming into play now, and this is working.
If they say they want permission to move, okay, he has given them permission to move.
With escort.
To escort them where?
To where they're going.
Look, when you say you are ranching, that means nobody should move outside that ranch. Providing escort, I can provide you escort from here to Lagos. What is there? You see, you said you want to curtail movement from this room to that room. But now if you say, if I want to go to that room, you will give me escort. So I'm not limited to one place. The whole idea is to confine the herders in one place, isn't it? You are not confining them. They tell you we are moving. You say, okay, these agro rangers or forest rangers, escort them, they are moving. Now, it comes back to when we talk about the cattle route, which he opposed bitterly. If they are moving, why are they moving? Are they moving on the road with vehicles or on the cattle route? You should ask him that.
When I see him, probably
Ask him.
next I'll ask him.
Yes.
Yes. I will. Excellency, going forward now, still on there stabilizing the policy and keeping the tension low, federal government plans yet again to increase the pump price of petroleum, which they say it's removal of subsidy once and for all. This is going to pose a lot of problem even for everybody, including government itself. Is this something that you will support as we move close to an election year?
I think you see, the government has removed subsidy on diesel. The government has removed subsidy on kerosene. Now, Katsina, we are neighboring Jigawa, Kano, Kaduna, Zamfara, and to some extent Sokoto. So if we want to introduce a policy in Katsina, what we normally do, we check these states. Do they have the same policy? If they have, how are they implementing it? We want to do something that is consonant. It's in consonance with our neighbors, that we share everything together. Let's look at what is the pump price across West Africa, Central Africa, and even North Africa. Are we saying we will continue, if our own is lower, to subsidize these countries? Or if to say our own will be higher, are we saying that will allow them to be smuggling petroleum products into Nigeria because their own is cheaper? It's a very simple arithmetic.
So you're submitting to market forces completely? Completely?
Why not?
Now, how do you expect the ordinary person? Some persons...
You see, the problem is, you know, I was privileged, and I thank God, to start owning a car when 5 naira was more than enough to fill a tank.
5 naira?
Yes.
Okay.
I bought my first car, 1976. The whole cost of the car, including insurance and everything, was 4,200 naira. And the car was Datsun 18B. That's 1.8 liters with air conditioning. We are now coming from this period to this period. So it means the country is responding. And every time you have an increase in price, there will be hue and cry. But when you have shortage of supply, people are prepared to buy it at whatever price. The issue is application of resources. The money that is going to be made out of removal of subsidy, how do we ploy it into the system to cushion the effect of price increase? Because if we are subsidizing the whole of West African countries with oil from Nigeria, I think we need to think twice. We need to think twice.
They mentioned 5,000 naira. I think that was ridiculous. 5,000 naira to persons. Why do you even need to make the offer at all? In the sense that even the 5,000 naira...
5,000 naira to who? That is the question.
Yes, 5,000 naira to the most vulnerable, they say, the most vulnerable. And how do you determine who is the most vulnerable? How do you pass out this money, and where do you even find this money?
Let me tell you, when I started talking to you, I told you government has removed subsidy on diesel, on kerosene. It's not there in LPG, right?
Yes.
Who are the beneficiaries of these subsidized petroleum product?
Maybe it's the sensitivity of...
You, the elites. Yes? Who is the elite? Because when diesel, that transports goods and services to the local people. When kerosene, that ordinary woman in the market in the village will use to cook. In fact, if there is subsidy, it should go to gas and kerosene so that felling of firewood should stop. Because it is the alarming red desert is encroaching on us.
Excellency, you don't seem to be bothered about the consequence, the
No,
very
I am
likely
not.
consequence. You don't look bothered.
No, I am. More than you think. Because the cost of governance will also increase. And in the next 2 years, I will be out of office.
If cost of governance increase, does it also include cost of what you pay your civil servants, the people that you're paying?
It's not about what I pay my civil servants. You know, it's what the value of money they have. You see, we are being increased in salary, it has not addressed the fundamental issue. Housing, food, education, health, security. All the salaries that were being increasing, has the salary increase been able to address these issues as it affects workers? Mind you, I was a worker before I was made a commissioner to join politics. So I know the pain. And right now, as I'm telling you, in the next 2 years, I will be out of government office and government house. So this high price is what I will pay if I want to move.
Well, Excellency, I think that's a very good point to leave it. At this point, I must thank you very much for finding time to oblige me. It's even better that we're doing it in Katsina.
Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah. Well, I've been speaking with His Excellency, the Governor of Katsina State, Alhaji Aminu Bello Masari. Same time next week promises more. If you endeavor to be here, please remember to remain on the road to a violence-free Nigeria. Thank you for watching.
No.